Hi fellow traders, I hope everybody had a good day today. As you can see, I had to bring out the jackass picture again because that's how I traded this morning. I traded like a complete jackass. I traded like somebody that didn't have a clue about what they're doing. And this is how I felt, to be honest with you. So let's look at the first trade on ADI. You know, it is my fault because on my Thinkorswim charts, the montage that I had ADI on was one I was using for back testing the night before, and I still had some indicators on there that conflicted with my normal indicators. They were kind of the same colors. But even with that, you know, really not really seeing this right, even with that, I still made a mistake and looked at this as a 5-minute candle. And, you know, I can't figure out why I'm doing that. This is the second day in a row that I've jumped in a stock on the first 5 minutes and, you know, waiting, thinking that this is the second 5-minute candle about to close, so I'm gonna get in early when it's technically the first 5-minute candle that hasn't even put in the opening range low yet, and I'm getting in. And this time I got burned on it. You know, I lost a point on this relatively quickly because I didn't even have my stop put in. And instead of me focusing and saying, oh shoot, I need to go ahead and put my stop in, I was just fumbling around, you know, like I didn't have a care in the world. And this thing ran up a point on me, and I had to take it off. So, you know, before 10 minutes of the open, I was down $200. You know, a little bit over $200. And I'm like, you know, I don't know what happened here. And I guess I was still in that daze. You know, I was still in that same daze because all of a sudden I jump in JUNO. Now I just sat there at the open and watched this thing wash out. And I said pre-market. And now I said before this thing opened pre-market, I said if it runs up and taps this, I'm going to get in. And I sat there with my mouth open, my finger on the button, and never got in. This thing was stuck here around, what was that? Around 44.80 or so. It was there for a while. And I didn't click the button. And then it just washed out real quick. So when it started washing out, you know, that's when I flipped. That's when, you know, I flipped to the ADI and I ended up taking that trade. Then I came back to this. And for some reason, I got in before we broke the opening range low, which is right here. And I wouldn't have gotten in because here's support right here. 41.26. The low is like 41.50. You know, why would I get in here? You know, I wouldn't take this trade. But for some reason, I jumped in. It sold off a little bit. And then it got bought right back up over the 200. Claimed it. You know, we couldn't get over the VWAP. I'm still holding my position like a dummy. I'm already $200 down. I'm still holding my position, you know, like a dummy. You know, and I'm saying, well, if I get stopped out here, I'm done for the day. I'm done for the day. You know, here I'm holding 300 shares, and I let this one go over a point on me. And so now I'm down $500. A little over $500 on the day. I just cut everything off and walked out the house. I had to get out of here. I don't know what was going on. It's like I was a different person. I wasn't even me. I don't know if it was because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the problem was, but I know I had to take responsibility for it. You know, just like on ADI, I messed up the charts, and that threw me off, and it's all me. Same thing with this. It's all me. I didn't put my stop in. I let it go, and that was it. So I had to walk away, and I said, I may come back after lunch and look and see what's going on, but I was done mentally. I was just beat up and beat down. So I went out, I came back, and when I got back in, this move was happening. We were rejecting here. And if I had my platform up, I would have jumped short. But, I didn't. It was cut off. And, I was just sitting there, and I'm like, well, maybe I just need to go to lunch, early around 11 and come back and see if we get anything coming out of lunch. See what goes on. So, I went to lunch, right around 11 when this thing started to happen. And it was sitting on this. So, this was, right around 11 o'clock. And I'm like, you know what? I pulled up my tablet, what I use when I'm going to lunch, and I usually just watch one stock, one that I'm looking for to set up. And so I still had this one watching, and so I decided to, okay, let's take this. Let's see, we're rejecting VWAP. We just lost all of this. Let's see if this is going to be another trap. And it almost felt like another trap. As soon as I got in, the next candle tried to pull back. And we tested all of that. It finally rejected and got to move down, but I didn't get as strong a move down as I wanted. But when we started to turn around and I saw that crazy price action again, I dumped it. And then when it started to turn around, I got short again. And then when it ran back up, I stopped out. So, I'm sitting here questioning my sanity at this moment. I'm sitting there, I'm sitting outside, I'm on my tablet, and I know if the neighbors heard me, they probably thought I was nuts, talking to myself. But, this thing set up, and it set up clean again. I went back and looked, and I'm like, look, these are clean setups. These are setups I normally take. This is just a stop that, moves kind of whippy. You have to, you're going to have to work through it. Just like X. When I trade X, I know, when it's volatile, it gives these crazy moves. So, I got back in here, and that's when the wheels started working. Nail this trade. Now, the mistake I made here was I should have covered right here on this candle when we made, when we held this level here. And then reset, but I didn't. I just gave up some profit here. This was still a profit stop. I didn't hold it back to break even. It's still a profit stop, but I should have stopped out here. Got back in here, got the first flush, covered here at 41.25, this level, and then the stock turned around again. It's, you know, starting that whippy stuff, and stopped me out at break even. So I nailed a little piece here. You know, this was nice, and then this was my last trade. You know, when it rejected again, we couldn't get over the 20. So every time it rejected, I'm looking for the continuation down. And, you know, I caught this, you know, got in, covered some here at 25 because we were kind of getting hung up here again. Covered some on the flush on this candle, covered some down here. And this was my final target, but unfortunately I didn't have a bid out when this thing came down, and it never really tested it again. So I'm thinking, you know, look, this thing didn't come up and touch the 20. It kind of rejected at the 9. This thing is real weak. We've got to lose this level. So I pulled a bid that I had put in, that I did eventually put in, and waited to see if we get a flush, you know, or a fade going into close, but we didn't. And when we came back and started to push the 20, I went ahead and took it off. So solid trade. I went from being down $300 on this trade to being up over a little over $300. So it was, you know, pretty solid trading through here. Now, yeah, I had 20 tickets, but I was scaling out. I started with 400 shares and I scaled out. Started with 400 shares and I scaled out. And, you know, so this was 8 tickets just for these 2 trades. You know, and that's 10. That's 12. You know, so, but I made profit, and that's what matters. I'm kind of proud of myself for coming back around, getting my head screwed on straight, and really finishing the day strong. So all I need to do tonight is sit down and try to figure out, as I reflect on what happened this morning, you know, why I did what I did. Now, the last time I made silly trades like that, it was because of my medicine. You know, I was just starting to get used to my diabetes medicine. I don't know what the problem was this morning, but I was just not myself. I just can't say it any other way. But we'll go into tomorrow. I'll be a little bit more cautious and a little bit more aware of myself going into tomorrow. And, you know, hopefully we can get it started out on the right track. So you guys have a great evening, a great night, and we will see you first thing in the morning.